Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone as well, all the graduates, parents, guests, our administrators, and our school board members that are here this evening to recognize the achievements of these young men and women. First of all, I want to begin my remarks by saying that I have listened to many graduation ceremonies and many student speeches at those ceremonies, and I have to tell you that the work of Liz, Jessica, and Haley really is near the top of the list as one of the best set of speeches that I've heard, reflecting back and looking forward on their speeches, on their school experience. Let's give them a round of applause for their Graduations like this all around the United States that are happening right now, they are rich in tradition. They're rich in tradition, carrying forward the norms and the standards of the communities of which the schools represent. And Cuba City is certainly no different. This is a time to look back and reflect upon their experiences. It's also a time to look forward. Oftentimes, for this ceremony, people use the term graduation and commencement. And I want to spend just a moment and explain what they are. Graduation is simply the acknowledgement that the students have met the requirements and rigors, like Mr. Babel just indicated, as set forth by the state and the Department of Education, that they can be conferred a diploma as an artifact of being a graduate. Commencement, which is what we typically refer to these occasions as, commencement means a new beginning, a fresh start. And that's what we're here to talk about today, is the transition time that these students are at right now. Each year I take the opportunity to talk to our student leaders and try to find out their perceptions on the class. What was it about this particular class that made them unique, that made them special? These young men and women walked into this gymnasium tonight as students. Shortly they're going to be walking out of this gym as alumni. I think it's important that we try to reflect back on what mark will these students leave in the school. Every class leaves their mark, leaves their legacy. This class contains students of all that represent all of our diverse opportunities in school. We have artists in this class, we have performers in this class, athletes and academics are all represented. We heard about the $410,000 in scholarships that were awarded just a couple of days ago. That's remarkable. In talking to the student leaders, they've identified the characteristics of these students as being hardworking, dedicated, trustworthy, mission-driven, and creative. There was a common theme, though, as I talked to the student leaders, and I'll get to that theme here in just a second. But I want to reflect just for a moment on, as I was talking to these students, what it was that they believed made them special as a collective group. It made me think about a quote, and this quote is from Rensis Leiter, and he said, "The greater the loyalty of a group towards the group, the greater its motivation among the members to achieve the goals of the group, and the greater the probability that the group will achieve its goals." I asked these students, what is the one word that you feel best describes you as a group of students, as a collective class? There were different words that were given from each of those students, but the common theme and the common word that came out was loyal. Loyal to each other, loyal to the school, and loyal to our community. I believe in talking to these students and getting to know them that loyalty is the core belief of these graduates. The support of others has been the reason, in their opinion, that they've been able to achieve what they have so far. We don't have to go far in our daily lives, reading the newspapers, watching the news, to understand that single items cause great divisiveness in communities today. Wisconsin, the United States, the world, single issue items cause divisiveness and cause people to become very polarized in their viewpoints about any political issue that's out there. I think our politicians and lawmakers could do well to learn from this class. These students have shown throughout their career here in high school that they have the ability to come together and be united in their experience and be united in working towards common agendas. They've all experienced joy and tragedy, success and failure, and their belief in each other is truly what has caused that unity and oneness amongst themselves. One of the interesting things to talk to students about is what was it that they were worried about when they came to this building, when they came to high school. And it shouldn't surprise anybody to hear what they were somewhat apprehensive about. They were worried about fitting in. They were worried about getting friends, experiencing a new surrounding. leaving the teachers that they grew so comfortable with at the middle school and the elementary school, making new friends. While they were here, they told me that they've developed a broad support network. They feel like they've become very united in their efforts, and they believe that as a group, they have a sense of community amongst their classmates. One of the interesting things to ask them is, as you move forward, do you have those same apprehensions? And one of the interesting things I will tell you about this class is, emphatically, the answer there was no. They feel that as they move forward, they want to be individuals. They have no fear of moving forward, and they did believe, as they shared with me, that their experiences in Cuba City and in our school district have prepared them for what lies ahead. Prior to walking away from the microphone, I think it's important. These students are graduates of, or will be graduates here shortly of the class of 2011. And I think it's important to recognize some of the staff members that will also be graduates of the class of 2011 and will not be returning next year. So if I can ask the following individuals to stand up, and these are individuals that were recognized in the students' speeches earlier, as well as some that I'm sure they've had over the years. So if I could ask Mr. Terry Descharletti to please stand and hold your applause, please. Mrs. Kathy Udeholden, Dr. Gloria Swenson, and Sister Georgiana Dorsey. These individuals will not be returning to the system of education next year. If I've missed any of our retirees out there, I do apologize, but if we can give them a hand for the work they've shown. On behalf of our faculty and our staff and our Board of Education, I'd like to congratulate the class of 2011 for your accomplishments and wish you well in all your future pursuits. Good luck.